start. There we go. Well, welcome everybody to our marketing session. I am Joy Brigham, and Kayla, you want to say hello?
Hey everybody, I'm Kayla Boswell.
And we are going to talk about some ways to get the word out about your event, some tips and some tricks. And of course, we want you guys to share too if you've had anything that's really successful. But one of the things that we hear a lot is we just aren't getting people out to our event. We are not getting the turnout that we want. We are not getting, maybe public officials like the mayor or, if you have some different people that are public officials in your area. Or we've also heard, since, your staff, if you're a part of this call, your staff is remote to you and may not be in the town you're in. So maybe you're in a town where there is an ACS. ACS came to our event. So the first question I want you to reflect and ask yourself is, have you asked them? So sometimes we assume that people will have it in their plans, but they may not for whatever reason. But if you ask them, they'll be glad to come. I know mayors of towns are something that typically don't just go to every event, but if you ask them to come, they usually will come right on out. And I think that any special guests that you think would be important to add to your event, inviting them either in person or sending them an invitation personally to come, how are they going to tell you no? So that was one of the things that, I wanted to make sure that we addressed right to begin with, because I think we've heard that a lot this year, is we just aren't getting these people that are important people in the community out. So let's ask them. Kayla, you're on mute. You're on mute. Kayla, you're on mute.
I'm so pretty today. Okay, sorry guys. It's been a struggle. All right, so we want to get people out to our event, and sometimes that direct ask is the best way to do it. But we also know that there are a lot of passive ways that we can get the word out about Relay. The big one being social media. I think in recent years, a lot of people have come to rely pretty heavily on their social media to help get the word out about Relay. But Joy and I wanted to make sure to remind everybody in big, loud voice tonight, social media is not the only way to market your event. So I know it's easy to just put stuff up on Facebook. It's free and inexpensive to even boost your ads and stuff, but there are so many ways that you can spread the word about Relay for Life in your community and get the public up to date on what's going on that don't involve sitting at a computer at all. So we actually have a list of 100 ways to promote your event that we wanted to share with everybody tonight, and we will have this list in the resources folder at the end of the summit. But Joy, are you going to share or am I? There we go.
Sorry, I was working on it. I was trying to get back to it.
Well, and since I logged in late, my computer just says everything's trying to connect. So I don't even know if it's going to pop up for me or not.
Is it sharing now?
It's there.
Okay, awesome. So this is actually an old document that came out several years ago, but we wanted to bring it back and just share it again because a lot of people have never seen this, and some people have forgotten it. It's been so long ago, so old is new again. But there were just a few things on here that we wanted to just point out. And I wanted to share a couple of these that we've actually implemented in some places. And I've got some things that I'm going to share with you guys. But this is one of the cheapest and easiest things. So, and on further down, it talks about doing it at on your local radio station also, because not every town has a TV station. I know where I live, we're a tiny little town. We don't have a TV station. We have an AM radio station here. We don't even have an FM one. We're so small. But we do have a local newspaper, and we have a local shopping paper. So both of those, the newspaper has a community or event calendar that is completely free to add something on there, you'd be surprised at the number of people that actually look at those. So it's free to do. So go ahead and stick it on there. Kayla, you want to talk
Yeah, so this list has a lot of things, and old is new again, as Joy was saying. A lot of the stuff on this list is kind of paper focused, which I know we've gotten away from a lot in the past, but one of my favorite things that I've had work so well over the years is putting flyers on pizza boxes. Working with whatever local pizza store, pizza shop there is. Sometimes it's easier when it's like a mom and pop shop instead of like Pizza Hut. But just doing either a postcard size or a half-page flyer with the relay information on it, the website, QR code, so they can just scan it to get to the relay website. But putting those on pizza boxes for a week, a month, whatever the pizza shop will help you do. Just to help get the word out to all those people who are ordering pizza that maybe don't even know that relay is going on in your community anymore. I will say too, just a reminder for everybody, we can help, ACS can help you guys get that stuff printed. Because I know without having a staff partner who's been at the office during the day, coming out to your meeting to drop stuff off like that, it may seem hard to get stuff printed, but ACS has a fabulous print shop that we can send things to. We do need a 10 to 14 day turnaround time for them because they print stuff for the whole country, but they can print full page, poster size, postcard size, business card size, all kinds of things for you all to use in your communities to help spread the word about Relay. Just make sure that you work with your staff partner on those kinds of assets and give us enough time to get it printed.
For sure. So I'm going to actually stop sharing for just a second. So one of the things that was in this list of things is getting like a PSA. So a PSA is just public service announcement. Most of your radio stations and TV stations will actually do a media sponsorship where they'll do the contract for you. You just have to get them to agree to do it. So they have it fixed where, they'll give you 10, 30-second spots, and that is a value of X number of dollars. So, and that's something you can work with your staff partner to actually work on that media contract with them, get all the details worked out, but they'll record it for you. So I wanted to make sure and share a PSA that we did for an event a couple of years ago in Louisiana, and we actually combined our voices of hope. And I know a lot of you on this call are a voice of hope. And if you don't know what a voice of hope is, it is people within the American Cancer Society Volunteer Network that have been trained to be speakers. They are in every state, I think. I think we've got somebody in every single state now, sometimes multiple people that are willing and able to share their story, the American Cancer Society story. So it's not even that you necessarily have to do this PSA, but employ them to help you with that. But I wanted to share one with you that, sorry, I had Mad Libs pulled up over here, so I was Googling adjectives. I was running out of ideas, y'all. All right. So let me make sure that my sound is on here. And just let me know, Kayla, I can see your face, so let me know if you can't hear it.
Big 102.1 and Fight Cancer Fest Iberia Parish. Real people making a real difference.
Hi, I'm Carla Carr. In October 2010, I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. I have 4 children. The youngest was 1 at the time. I discovered very early on was the support that I get from the community, from my friends, from my family, makes all the difference. My very first event that I attended was a Relay for Life. I was going through IV chemo at the time. I was tired. It was a long day. The support that I found as a cancer survivor from other cancer survivors, the people that were there to support those survivors, it really really changed the way that I was approaching my cancer. I've always been an independent person, and one thing that cancer has taught me is that I don't have to be alone.
Make a difference now at big1021.com.
How cool.
So we kind of combined a couple of different things there. We had mission as part of it, why relay was important, and the event. And we want to get you out to the event. So, and this radio, actually, all I did was give her all the people's phone numbers, and she actually called everybody, recorded it, they cut it, they edited it, and then they played it throughout the month leading up to their event.
That's awesome.
That's very nice.
And kind of easy for all you really had to do was ask Joy, and the radio station did all the legwork. So
yeah, it
double
was
bonus
cool
there. Well, what we wanted to put to you all this evening was we'll have a list of 100 ideas for you, but we want to hear what tried and true ways in your community you are marketing your event and spreading the word about Relay.
Well, this is Michelle from Vegas. When we first moved here from New York, we actually did go on iHeartRadio and do an in-person interview with one of the disc jockeys there, and they used that as well for television, and that was an ask. At that time, we had Power and Purple, so one of the Power and Purples is on the board there. So sometimes you can ask within your group. They may have connections. That's my tip for you guys.
This is Donna Hood at Neosho. I'm in Missouri, so we do have a local radio station that before we have done that. I actually was one of the people that they talked to, but I just love this idea of getting something pre-recorded with one of the voices of hope. Our Chamber of Commerce also did a pretty good job for us in their chamber notes and things they sent out. We did join the chamber. I don't know if us joining it made a lot of difference. I don't mean to be rude here, but it was an expense to join it, and it really, we didn't attend the meetings, but anyway, I guess if we have to join it to get in their newsletter, we'll do that. But
that is
anyway.
One thing, though, Donna, is some chambers will do stuff for organizations that are not members, and some of them do require a membership to share any of that kind of stuff. Yeah. But all you have to do is ask at your local chamber and find out which way yours works.
Yeah, and it may work both ways. Like I said, well, I guess two years ago we joined because we didn't have a relay last year. So, but anyway, that's a couple of things we did.
Okay. Chamber of Commerce are great resources a lot of the time, and they can be very helpful. And I have found they're almost easier to work with in smaller towns than in bigger cities.
Yes. This is Michelle again. I have another idea for you guys. We did this in New York, and it makes no difference what denomination you are, but some people don't realize that churches, synagogues, they have actually they have a group. So sometimes your church is connected with other churches' pastors. And what you want to do is try to ask your pastor if you can present at the pastor's meeting. And that'll allow you to perhaps put a flyer or do a mock luminary or presentation across the board of all the churches in your community. And that may get the word out as well. Or the church's health department, health ministry.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad you brought up the churches, because that was actually on my list to talk about. So obviously I'm in the South, so we still have like paper bulletins at a lot of the churches. I'm sure other places do too, but that's something that we used to put in the church bulletin is Relay for Life is coming up. And a couple of the churches here where I live actually do a Purple Sunday service where they recognize the survivors. Usually it's like the weekend before Relay, and just brings them up to the front. They have a little purple ribbon and just, doing a prayer for them and for a relay event, and it just brings that recognition to your event in front of a big group of people that are a captive audience.
Right. Absolutely.
Anybody else want to share something fun?
I have. This is Rebecca in Central Texas, and I had some amazing volunteers one time that worked at a local bank, and they actually allowed us to do, I think we did it like 2 or 3 months prior to the event. We were able to do like a 3rd page little, almost the size of a bookmark, a stuffer, and they put it in all of their monthly statements that they mailed out. And it was just a real local bank. I mean, it was local there in Somerville, Texas. And so like the president was all for it. So, I mean, it definitely would, I don't think it would work for like Wells Fargo or something on that status. But if you have, a local bank, and especially if you have some volunteers and, maybe committee members
or a bank team.
Captains, yeah. And they were one of our biggest teams. So, I mean, and we had 4 of their, probably 20 employees that were on our ELT. So
what I had a event do one time, Rebecca, with their bank, instead of doing monthly statement stuffers, they made little slips of paper to go in the drive-through envelopes with the event information on it.
Oh, nice.
And it was a chain bank that wound up doing that for us. They got permission and they just did it at that branch, but that was easier. They just had the tellers, like as they were putting the cash and coins in those little envelopes, they tucked in a little thing about Relay for Life.
That's cool.
Good idea.
And I'm not sure if she can come off mute because I'm pretty sure she's still at work and just listening in. But Selena, well, she just commented.
Put it in the chat.
I don't know that she can talk. But one thing that they did for their event is instead of flyers, they actually made bookmarks. And on one side, it had the event date and location and just Relay for Life. And on the back side, it had a little poem about hope. And that was something that they put out. Yeah, she can't talk. But that was something that they put out around the community. And, flyers, a lot of times people will get it. And what happens to it?
Right.
Tossed.
A bookmark is something that is, you kind of hate to throw it away, and you stick it in your Bible, or you stick it, in your wallet or somewhere like that. So just doing something a little bit different. And we actually had them professionally printed, and they were not very expensive. I think it was about $20 for 1,000 of them. So that was something that they were able to really distribute out in the community and had a lot of good feedback.
That's great.
Has anyone?
Okay. There were 2 events that helped bring a lot of attention and focus on our relay. One we did in New York, and that was when we painted the city purple. And through churches, through schools, through everything. I mean, we actually had the purple line going down the middle of the city. And we had Grandmaster with the great big purple hat and in a nice limousine. But it brought attention to, wow, what is this about? And the florists in the city and bakeries and stuff were involved as well. And they had like purple offerings. And then we had coupons that we gave out. If you had on purple, you got a discount at this place, that place, the other. We even got McDonald's to get to participate. So, that was a good one. In Las Vegas, what we did, we had the Survivor Parade. First one was very small. The second one was a little larger, but we had a windstorm that day. But it made people say, well, what's going on? What's all this about? Whatever the case may be. And we passed out stuff. And the ice cream parlor gave out things. So, those are 2 things to, just cross that line and do something different.
I was just about to ask if anybody had ever done Paint Your Town Purple, so thank you for sharing. To add on to that, because I have quite a few events that have done Paint the Town Purple over the year, your staff partner can help you get supplies for that. We have yard signs that can go in community members' front yards. I have a lot of groups that get the plastic purple tablecloths and just cut it into strips, buy them at the dollar store, cut them into strips to tie ribbons around trees and lampposts and things like that. But Paint the Town Purple can be a really great way to get the word out, especially if you can leave it up for a few days leading up to the event, and people will see it. Some of the best luck I've had for some of my campus events actually was they put up a bunch of relay signs outside of their venue the week leading up to relay. So students, when they walk by the football field, see the relay signs and know that there's something going on there on Saturday that they could come to. So if you can decorate around your venue, if it's a park or something like that, don't forget to do that if you're doing Paint the Town Purple.
Mm-hmm. And incorporate the Boys and Girls Clubs because they get badges that day. They can get badges for their, the community service or whatever activities.
For sure. So I'm so glad that you brought that up because the next thing that I was going to actually talk about is don't forget to reach out and we talked about, getting on the radio, getting on the TV, doing your youth. You're getting in front of a captive audience of people that you can get your message across. And another big concentration of people in the community is in our schools. So one thing that we wanted to share with you guys is a fun thing we did that was twofold. One was getting information out about the event, but the other thing that was kind of the flip side was actually getting them to the event. So what we did was a coloring contest. And this particular one, if you can't tell, it was in Louisiana. And we did a special coloring page that we used our print center to do a bunch of copies of this, depending on the school district size. And we sent these home. On the front, it had a coloring page. And on the back, let me rotate this so we can read it. On the back, it says, it's got a letter and it says, we want to feature the local students' artwork. We actually did it on the survivor invitations as a postcard, but we wanted to recognize them at the event. So here it had the information about the event, where they needed to come, all that kind of thing. So it was just a fun way that didn't require them to do anything except do a coloring sheet, but it was kind of a subliminal message of here's the information about the event. And our hope was that through this we would reach more people to let them know about the event. And this was the same community that we did the radio and TV, and we actually had a billboard and lots of different things. So we really hit it from lots of different angles. So just thinking about, the old community wheel of making sure that we're hitting all those pieces on the pie of places, parts of your community. Really think about when you are wanting to reach the most people, where are those people concentrated? When you go to put up a flyer, where are they spending a few minutes of their time, not running in and out? Because I think grocery stores, we stick a flyer up on the billboard or on the bulletin board at the grocery store. I'm guilty of running in, running out. So I don't pay any attention to the bulletin board at the grocery store, and I really can't expect anybody else to. But if I go get my hair done, I'm going to be sitting in that chair for at least an hour. So maybe visiting your local hair salons and barber shops and putting out some flyers in their place would be a better use of that flyer than at the grocery store. So just thinking through those, where are people going to sit and have to look at this for more than just about 2 seconds? And then the other thing that I will say, and we're going to wrap up and move over to the wow factor, is this is a lot of things that are getting their interest. They're getting the awareness that this event is coming up. But now we got to hook them. What's going to get them there? What's going to make them go from, oh, that's cool, to getting in their car, driving to that field or wherever it is, and coming to the event? And that may be a personal invitation, or it may be something that's a wow factor that's the next session that, you know, what is the thing that's going to make it important enough to them to come to that event? So anything else on the marketing that you guys want to touch before we go? Because we got about 3 minutes.
Hi, this is
I
Patty
have
from Indiana. One of the things that we do is our Kiwanis Club, for their fundraiser, sells light pole banners, and it's got the Relay for Life logo on it, and it can either be the company name or like in memory of someone that has cancer or that has passed. And then we line the streets, the light pole banners, 3 weeks before the event and a couple weeks after it. And that kind of lets the city know that it's coming up, and they can get a hold of us if they have any questions. And it's a fundraiser for one of our teams.
What's that called again?
They're the banners that you put on light poles.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. Okay.
That's an excellent idea because it's dual purpose. You're fundraising by selling the banners and getting the word out about Relay.
Right,
Yes.
right. And they stay up a long time. So we try and do it 3 to 4 weeks before the event. And then they get to stay up a couple of weeks afterwards. So they really get a lot for their money as far as the advertising part. And then you see people that just kind of like park right underneath their banner when it's someone's, you know, when it's a loved one's, if they do it in memory of. So it's kind of neat. We've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Great idea. Okay.
I just wanted to share with you one area that we somewhat didn't touch, but if you have nursing homes or a specific senior community, you may want to not only put flyers there, but bring some type of activity and cookies. They love cookies.
Good point.
Everybody loves cookies.
You know, something joint with the bakery or what have you, and bring something there, because you'll find sometimes when you think they can't come, that nursing home may have a van and they may bring them out for an event or for the beginning part of your relay.
As a matter of fact, one time we had the senior programs, senior groups from senior living facilities. They actually designed our luminaria bags, and they bought lots of bags, you know? So, yeah, don't discount anyone.
That's right. There are lots of parts in your community, and want to make sure that we're reaching all of them.
Yeah.
Well, as one last wrap-up thought, because it is 7:29 by my clock, I just want to remind everybody, as you were putting out like paper collateral flyers and stuff, don't forget to drive people to your website or your social media so that they can get more information about the event and sign up if they choose to do so. But my caveat on that is make sure you are updating your social media and your website frequently so it has the most up-to-date information about whatever's coming up. Just so when people go to your website, it looks like it's a very active event and things are going on that will help draw them in and get them to participate in Relay.
All right.
Thank you.
We're going to jump over to the
tonight.
Can you put the link in the chat box?
The link to what?
To the next one?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. Thank you.
All right. See you guys over there.
Okay.
Have a great night, everybody.
All right. Thank you very much. Great session.
Thank you.